Forecast glorious night for baseball here at the ballpark. Mainly clear skies. We do have some storms down to the south. Those will not impact us. That's along a cold front that went off towards the east. What will impact us tomorrow, about a 900-mile wide area of low pressure that's going to swirl its way down to the south. That's going to bring us cooler air and a couple lake effect showers as we get into the afternoon tomorrow. No problems tonight, though. 3-day forecast looks like this. Couple lake effect showers tomorrow. Friday, Saturday, we pave the way for a beautiful weekend around here. Temperatures jumping back to near 80 degrees. Have a great night, everybody.
Holy, 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 holy. Hello. Do you know what movie that's from? Holy, 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 holy.
No.
That's how Andy talks Woody in Toy Story.
Oh,
holy, 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 holy.
I was thinking the shark that steals his cat is like,
That's true. That's another one. You can't go wrong with Toy Story references. That's the way. Yeah, no doubt. You have your own storylines about the imagery of Toy Story.
You've never actually seen the movie, though, Matt? Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's funny.
Honoring a hero. The body of Navy Corpsman Max Soviak returns home. We talked to friends and community members who showed up to pay tribute to him.
You just end up putting your head down. It's so sad.
A family killed in a murder-suicide, including 2 young children. We have the latest developments.
New COVID variant. We ask the experts how it compares to Delta as our hospitalizations spike.
And riding for a cure. How you can help raise money for cancer research happening in Northeast Ohio. What's new starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Max was a great kid and, went out doing what he loved to do, and that was fighting for his country.
To be that young and have this happen and the way it happened, it just doesn't seem right.
It's going to bring peace to the family to finally have him home, and they're going to see, how well that this town can come together to support them.
Such a powerful image. Good evening, everyone. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford. And tonight, we are honoring Erie County native and Navy corpsman Max Soviak.
Soviak's body was flown back to Ohio this morning. He was one of 13 service members killed in an attack in Afghanistan last month. This morning, a private procession started on the Ohio Turnpike, traveling to Erie County.
It was followed by a public procession to the funeral home. 3 News' Lydia Spara joins us live from there now. And Lydia, right behind the funeral home is where the body of Max Soviak is lying. He died almost 2 weeks ago, and since then it's been a slow, somber ride home.
Yes, Betsy, it has been a slow and somber ride. You can see right behind us here where all those flags are. The funeral home is right behind it. Well, the family asked for privacy, and we are giving it to them. The plane landed early at Cleveland Hopkins. From there, it was a slow procession passing through the communities where 22-year-old Max Soviak once lived.
To be that young and have this happen and the way it happened, it just doesn't seem right.
Soviak was killed in Afghanistan with 12 other service members on August 26th. But on Wednesday, he came home. Kayla Burnsworth knew him.
I don't think there's any words for it, honestly, to see it.
And as the procession turns from Main Street onto South Street, you can see hundreds of people lined up here just to pay their respects to the Navy corpsman.
I think I would realize how the family feels, the pride, the anguish, and everything.
They continued on to the funeral home. His family lives right across the street. Perhaps 13-year-old Grant Fathom could sum up the very somber day.
I'm happy to be here and support him. It's kind of sad, though, too.
Yes, it's kind of sad. But for Grant, he wants to be in the Navy and follow his hero's footsteps.
He still died to protect us.
Would you do the same thing?
Yeah.
Wow, just so amazing how the community came out. You can see the flags, and right behind there is the funeral home. Now, the funeral for Max is on Sunday, or I should say the calling hours is on Sunday. The funeral is on Monday. And Jay and Betsy, it's going to be at his former high school, so you're only going to imagine it's even going to be more crowded then. Back to you.
The community certainly coming out in support today. Thanks so much, Lydia. We'll see you tonight on What Matters Most at 6.
Well, these are pictures of Corpsman Soviak taken just before he was killed in Afghanistan. According to the U.S. service member who posted these pictures, the little boy ended up at the gate by himself. It's believed the Taliban killed his parents. Soviak handed the boy to a U.S. Air Force pararescuer who then gave the child to the Norwegians who at the time were conducting evacuations. Soviak's parents now want to adopt that young boy. I spoke with Matt Earhart this morning. He's the assistant director at Erie High School, where Max graduated, and he confirmed this story to me. The Soviaks have fostered several kids throughout the years and want to give this young boy a loving home. They're asking for people to contact local and state leaders to help push for an effort to help find the young boy. You can read all of our stories and watch the procession for Corpsman Soviak. It's on our website now, WKYC.com.
We turn now to a sad story that's coming out of Avon Lake. A family of 4 found dead yesterday. And we want to warn you the details we are learning about this are disturbing. The police have identified the family as 50-year-old Jeffrey Hull, his 46-year-old wife Heidi, and their 2 children, 9-year-old Garrett and 6-year-old Grant. Police say Jeffrey Hull is suspected of shooting his wife and his 2 sons before turning the gun on himself in the family's home. Avon Lake School Superintendent Bob Scott says staff knew something was wrong when the Hull children didn't show up for school yesterday, and the family didn't call the district's absence line to notify the school. Students and staff, understandably in shock.
This situation, of course, is devastating for all of us. I mean, the staff's heartbroken, the community is heartbroken, but it's so different just because it's a whole family.
Police also told us today that one of the family's 2 dogs was also shot and killed. Obviously, this is hitting the community hard, especially the kids. We'll have more on how to talk to your kids about something like this on What Matters Most at 6 p.m.
Well, Betsy, after a slight delay in announcing today's COVID-19 numbers, they are out now, and they are not good. The state reporting 6,823 new cases in the last 24 hours. That's more than 2,000 cases above our 21-day average.
Our new hospitalizations number is also troubling. 457 new COVID-19 patients are in Ohio hospitals today. Compare that to our 21-day rolling average of 176. COVID patients now account for 11.7% of all hospital bed capacity. And the vast majority of those hospitalized have the Delta variant. And as the numbers continue to rise in Ohio and across the country, health leaders are watching a new variant called Mu.
Our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, here now to answer our questions about this, as she is each and every day. I know you've been getting a lot of questions about this. Should we be concerned?
You know, Mu is now the 12th variant that has been of concern or interest. So the Centers for Disease Control and the World Health Organization break down the mutations into 3 categories: variants of interest, variants of concern, and variants of high consequence. So let me calm you down first. There are no variants of high consequence at this time. That would be a variant where there's no treatment whatsoever to work against it. Currently, though, the WHO lists Mu as a variant of interest. It means it's being watched closely because the genetic changes may make it easier to spread and cause more severe disease, and it has the potential to evade the protection of vaccines or even the natural protection from a previous variant, meaning antibodies from a previous COVID infection couldn't fight it either. So while Mu has been discovered in 49 states, it hasn't been able to make a dent in cases like Delta. Nearly 96% of all the new cases in the U.S. are Delta. Delta is a variant of concern, as is Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, but Delta is by far the most prevalent. So for perspective, Delta was first discovered in India last December. Then it became the predominant strain nearly around the world in just 8 months. Mu has been around since January and hasn't reached the concern list yet. So there are 4 variants of concern, 5 variants of interest being watched around the world. Mu is just the latest to be added to the list. So no, let's not worry yet. Let's calm down because this is what viruses do. They mutate.
Well, we talked about this because I was like, wait a minute, we're missing some of the Greek alphabet.
Yes, we are.
Because we had Alpha and, you know, where'd Lambda go? What happened to Sigma? I mean,
we haven't gotten to Sigma.
How is this going? Well, how is this going? And you know, where does Mu even come from? Like, where are we in all this?
Okay, so remember, they used to name the variants by location. Now they're using the Greek alphabet. Mu is the 12th letter. So that's how many variants have been of interest or concern. 3 have been already taken off the list, but there are at least a dozen more that haven't even been named yet. And that doesn't include the subvariants, meaning the subtle changes in a variant that's not enough to make it completely different. Remember, though, this is what viruses do. They mutate to survive. So let's not get caught up in worrying about everything yet. Just protect yourself, and we all know how to do that with vaccination, mask, hand washing, and social distancing.
It's a bit like the hurricanes. You don't want to get too deep into the alphabet because you know it's been a bad year if you do.
Exactly.
It's the same with this. Let's hope we don't get to Sigma.
Right.
But I mean, we don't
or Omega.
know. We don't know where it's going at this point.
Well, here's my take, just from all the research I've been doing right now. My guess is that the next variant we're going to need to be a little worried about is a subvariant of Delta, because Delta is so transmissible.
You're right.
So I think Delta is definitely the one we all need to be worried about and the one we need to watch, because that's what's putting people in the hospital right now. And the vaccines do work against it. If you're vaccinated, you don't get as sick. So, and we also know the tried and true methods are better at it than anything else we have.
Sure.
So that's what, you know, we know what to do. We just need to do it.
There she is, Monica Robbins, joining us live here on the What's New set. Thank you so much. Keeping us in perspective for sure. Appreciate it, Mon. Well, coming up next for us, she's one step closer to freedom. The latest on Britney Spears' conservatorship battle with her father ahead in Pop Break.
But first, banning online video games. We're going to tell you where new rules are being implemented for teens and why. That's coming up. And speaking of coming up, Matt, beautiful day out there today. How long is that going to stick around?
Yeah, and speaking of coming up, I just shoved my mouth full of trail mix, so hopefully that stays down. I didn't realize I was up so soon. Beautiful weather. You're absolutely right outside. It should be in the 70s out there. We do have a couple 80s down towards the south, partly cloudy skies. Just gorgeous, you're right. But tomorrow we turn cooler with maybe some lake effect rain. We'll take you through that in the weekend coming up.
Take the boat out that day. All right, everybody, it is Wellness Wednesday here on What's New. And first up, we are talking about video game addiction.
It is a big problem in the United States, even a bigger problem in China. In fact, so much so, the country announced recently it is shutting down all online gaming to teenagers on school days.
Can you imagine if that happened here?
Yeah, oh, I can imagine, all right. See, this is good because the parents don't have to be the bad guy.
Exactly.
So the country's doing it for them. The new rules apply to teens 17 and younger. It bans all online video games Monday through Thursday. Teens can only play 1 hour a day on Fridays, weekends, and holidays. And every gamer, Betsy, must register with an anti-addiction center. One expert says that would never fly in the U.S., where it's estimated 10% of teens, Betsy, are addicted to gaming.
That is
stunning.
I can absolutely believe it. Well, keep in mind, there's a lot of, and believe me, this person is very guilty of this. My kid is acting up, or I need them to stay busy. Here's a tablet when they're little, and then they need more engagement. And now you're thinking, okay, well, the tablet was working. Now the gaming thing comes in. And it's very easy to just let the kids have a little game time, and that should be fine. Every now and then, though, it changes the way things work.
So I looked up some numbers. This is stunning. One study showed that in 1999, the average gamer spent 26 minutes a day on playing games.
1999.
99.
That was like like what, Nintendo 1 or something?
Yeah, that was way back in the old
school. The games weren't exactly exciting, let's put it that way.
Just 10 years later, gamers 8 to 18 spending 1 hour and 13 minutes a day playing games. That was 12 years ago.
Right.
It's the most updated data I could find. The WHO, Betsy, has classified gaming disorder as a disease.
I can believe that.
I can too, because I'm telling you, I've seen people who are absolutely addicted, no doubt about it.
Well, addiction comes in many forms.
It does.
And, you know, I, of course, get the pushback from friends who are professional gamers.
Yeah.
That it's like, well, I kind of have to be for my job. And I was like, wow, but you're kind of perpetuating the whole
My parents
thing.
used to use an argument, that's not going to get you anywhere in life.
Well, actually.
Well, you can't use that anymore.
Gotta practice.
Some of these gamers are making literally millions of dollars a year. But just like anything else, it's the 1 in a million that do that.
And that is the perfect way to put it for sure. Well, on Monday, we had the debate on when to brush your teeth. This became a big deal. Experts say before breakfast is the best time. Today, we're talking flossing and mouthwash. Jay? What order do you go? Brushing, floss, mouthwash?
So we had a huge discussion in the newsroom about this today.
This is why we're talking about
my own personal regimen.
Yeah.
I figure you sweep the floor first, floss.
Okay.
Then you use mouthwash to get all that crud between the teeth that the floss didn't get out.
Yes.
And then you polish, you brush, you mop the floor. Is that right?
Of course it is.
See, I
Mr.
thought
Perfectionist.
For sure, no, listen, I thought for sure that was going to be wrong because I had a conversation today with Allison, one of our producers, and she looked at me like I was crazy. She said, no, you floss last.
My favorite is that you were demonstrating it every step of the way.
Yeah, you floss.
Well.
Then you mouthwash, then you brush.
It is.
And I'm correct.
You are correct. I know.
I told you, Allison.
I am not shocked at all. Well, the Today Show talked with Dr. Todd Shadkin, a New York dentist, who said to begin with, flossing to remove any obvious of pieces is obviously a good idea. He recommends spending 5 minutes.
Yeah, I do not floss for 5 minutes.
I use those little flossers, and man, it's like rip.
I love the picks.
I'm done through it.
Yes.
After that, prep work, move on to mouthwash because you use it after you brush your teeth. If you do it after you brush your teeth, you'll wash away the active ingredients in the toothpaste. Hi, light bulb moment for me.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
I was like, I thought that just piled on and made it better. That'll help to continue to protect your teeth. So, you know, obviously it's the brush. Do you use like one of those sonic toothbrushes?
I do.
Or old school?
I do. And it's got the app and it tells you how long you've brushed for, whether you did it long enough. So let's make a little song so it's easy. You floss, you wash, you brush.
I didn't hear the song part of that.
Well, I'm not going to sing because
you
I
said
can't.
make a song. Well, I'm expecting
like a little memorable saying. Floss, wash, brush.
Mary Poppins up in here, everybody.
Just like that.
Matt, what say ye about said topic?
You floss and you wash and you brush your teeth and you
The
floss
dad
and you
always
wash and you
has.
brush your teeth.
There it is.
There
it is. And now kids everywhere will sing Matt's song
in the correct
when
way
they get ready to do their teeth regimen.
Thanks, Matt.
I wasn't done, but we were cutting into weather time.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. And your weather word for today is clean.
Clean.
Because that's where we are now.
That
We're
is.
clean.
Blow my mind. Day number 2 on brushing my teeth. I'm always doing it wrong in the morning. So thank you for that insightful information.
We try to help.
A lot of people saying, what's floss? All right, temperatures right now outside, generally upper 70s to near 80 degrees. Nice rebound behind the front that went by this morning. We did have some rain, even some rain this afternoon down towards areas of the southeastern half of our viewing area. But the thing we're all noticing behind this front, it is drying out. We still have some tropical humidity down in Dover, New Philly, Carrollton, Minerva, even a little thicker, but we've got the dry air off towards the north. And that's coming in with a nice west wind. You see where it kind of piles up here. That's our frontal boundary, still working its way out of here. And we have had some pretty decent downpours over the last couple hours. You can see now just exiting areas of Carroll County where we've had some heavier rain just south of Carrollton over the last hour and a half, likely over an inch with that. Looking at some radar estimates, pretty good downpour just south of Janeda, Hutton. You see Port Washington as well, kind of staring at the large cumulonimbus clouds that are heading off towards the east. But that is long gone. Big area low pressure off towards the north. This is a massive one. This is bringing a nice fall preview into the Great Lakes. Look at the lake effect rain. A lot of this lake enhanced, so there's already rain that kind of gets picked up with those warmer lake waters. And that's going to head our way. We've also got cooler air. So tomorrow could be one of the cooler days of the season so far, as we're still in summer, right? We're getting into fall here shortly. It'll feel like it tomorrow. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast, mainly clear skies tonight. That little wave's not here. It'll push in tomorrow morning. You'll see we'll start in the 50s. We'll likely start with sunshine, and then you'll notice those puffy clouds bubbling up. Some of them will produce some downpours, especially east of Cleveland. Traditional snow belt, right? And then you can see as we go throughout the afternoon and evening, we start to wane in intensity because we lose that daytime heating. And we're talking a cool night heading into Friday morning. Tomorrow's highs, though, some spots may not get out of the 70s. So I was going back in time to see when is the first time in the summer, late summer, that we don't hit 70. Our average date's August 24th, but 8 out of the last 12 years, we've had our first 60-degree high in the first 2 weeks of September. So we're due, right? There you go. Pretty clean look there at the forecast as we get into the weekend. So I think I got it. But it didn't even make sense. I didn't even fit it in properly. That's okay. No one will know. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Look at the weekend we have shaping up. 72 tomorrow with some lake effect rain showers. But Friday, mostly sunny. Sunny skies on Saturday. Beautiful on Sunday. But we've got a big warm up ahead. Temperatures back into the mid-80s by Sunday. We'll be back with more after the break.
We're going to be talking about the Britney Spears conservatorship, and it's almost over. Thank you.
Yep.
Man, the entertainment world has just been buzzing all day about this Britney Spears news. It looks like we're close.
This was some big deal, Kira. A lot of folks are just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with this next step to Britney's freedom, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Jay and Betsy. This is a major update and one that many are saying is long overdue. After 13 years, the conservatorship drama could all be coming to an end. Britney's dad, Jamie Spears, filed paperwork yesterday to officially end the conservatorship. In the filing, Jamie states that he has not only always wanted what's best for his daughter, and that he believes that if she can move forward without it, she has the right for the court to decide if that's a good idea. However, he does justify the conservatorship, saying that the 39-year-old has been able to get through a major life crisis, maintain her career, and keep her money and affairs in order with its help. According to Britney's attorney, yesterday's filing represents a massive legal victory for Britney, as well as vindication. And Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott are expanding their little family again. Kylie finally confirmed pregnancy rumors in a video posted to Instagram yesterday. The 90-second video shows Kylie telling Travis the news, baby Storming embracing her new sibling, and we also get a glimpse at the sweet reaction from momager Kris Jenner. Now, this is a complete 180 from her pregnancy with 3-year-old Stormy, where she kept the entire experience a secret. We're sending our congratulations to both Kylie and Travis. Can you believe it? It's been 25 years today since the popular children's TV show Blue's Clues first premiered. And in honor of the anniversary, the show's original host, Steve Burns, sent a message to his now grown-up friends yesterday that had so many in their feels. In a 2-minute-long video, he addresses his abrupt move to college back in 2002 that scarred so many of us, including myself. He also talks about the things we learned together so many years ago and how they're still helping him today. Now, even though we're all juggling student loans, family, and jobs, and whatever else comes our way, if we use our minds and take things one step at a time, we can do anything that we want to do.
I guess I just wanted to say that after all these years, I never forgot you. Ever.
Steve Burns has still got it. Just seeing him in his iconic green striped shirt, the delivery, his voice rings nostalgia for so many of us. And when this video was put out yesterday on social media, you can clearly see the impact with the responses. Guys, I was a Blue's Clues kid through and through. I had my handy dandy notebook ready.
Oh, yeah.
This is emotional for me.
Yeah, it is for a lot of folks.
Right?
Yeah.
Third hour of today, he was also on, and he didn't have his hat on, and he's bald.
Is he really?
He's bald.
That's news to me.
And I was like, look, it's Steve from Blue's Clues.
He's all grown up.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
My goodness. All right, Kira, thank you very much.
thing.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Keith. Coming up in the second half hour of What's New, we're just days away to Browns kickoff 2021. The voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan, joins us with a preview of the AFC divisional rematch game from last season. We'll hear what Baker Mayfield is saying ahead of Sunday's big game.
And Cancer Warrior with Velasano's Bike to Cure ride just days away now. We'll introduce you to a local 22-year-old who isn't letting his own battle stop him from getting on a bike this weekend. We'll be right back.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Now at 5:30, the body of fallen Navy Corpsman Max Soviak returned home to Erie County this morning. Max was one of 13 service members killed in Afghanistan last month. His body arrived at Cleveland Hopkins Airport this morning and left for a procession to the funeral home in Berlin Heights. The community lined the streets to pay tribute.
Max was a great kid and, went out doing what he loved to do, and that was fighting for his country.
Soviak's funeral will be held next week. Max Soviak was only 22 years old.
We're learning more about the tragic murder-suicide in Avon Lake that was discovered yesterday. Police identified the family as 50-year-old Jeffrey Hull, his wife Heidi, and their 2 kids, 9-year-old Garrett and 6-year-old Grant. Police believe Jeffrey Hull shot his family and also one of their 2 dogs before killing himself. Police are still investigating a motive.
The CDC and WHO are watching a new COVID variant. Mu is currently in 49 states, but doesn't make a dent compared to Delta cases, which now make up 96% of the United States' new COVID-19 cases. The WHO has it listed as a variant of interest. That means it's being watched closely because the genetic changes may be easier to spread and cause more severe disease. It also potentially has the ability to evade the protection of vaccines or even natural protection from previous variants. We just don't know yet because it's too early in the game. And that's how we welcome you back to the second half hour of What's New on this Wednesday, along with Betsy Kling. I'm Jay Crawford. Thanks so much for spending time with us on this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous September day.
It is, and boy, with weather outside, it just kind of feels crisp and feels fallish, and that would, of course, mean that football is coming, and everybody very excited about that, which is our top talker.
I feel great about where we're at heading into week 1 compared to last year.
Well, the Browns are preparing for their first game of the regular season against Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, champs 2 years ago, runner-ups last year as they lost to the Buccaneers. The same Chiefs, by the way, that eliminated the Browns from the AFC divisional playoffs last year. Boy, Jimmy, what a game that was.
Yeah.
I think a lot of folks thought the Browns were going to go in there and get it handed to them, but they really didn't. They played them close. 22-17 was the final that day, and then the Browns go through the preseason this year like it wasn't even there. Not that we put too much stock in that, but it's better to win than to lose, and on that note, they won all 3 of their games. So let's bring in the voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan. Jim, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So excited
Peace
about
be with
this.
you.
Boy, what else is Baker saying about this kickoff to the 2021 season?
All the right things.
Good.
Really. And that's been the way all summer. All the right things. Incidentally, on that video right there, did you notice who he was throwing to in practice today? Number 13, full go.
Ready to go.
Odell Beckham Jr. is ready to go. You will see him Sunday. All the bubble wrap's going to be taken off. He is ready to go. It is an amazing story that he is ready to go. But let's get back to the game. Arrowhead Stadium is the scene. The Browns know that's where it ended last year. That's where it begins this year. In the offseason, they dedicated themselves to fix the problems they had on that Sunday afternoon and in the 2 games against Baltimore. They said, hey, we're going to have to play them twice, and we think we're going to get a shot at Kansas City, not only in the regular season, but in the playoffs. That's how good the Browns think that they are. So they went and made defensive changes, a lot of them. They've grown on offense, and Baker Mayfield paying respect to the opponent this Sunday. Smart advice.
I mean, they've been top of the top in the AFC for the past decade or so. So, I mean, it's, they're highly competitive, so it's good for us to play somebody like that. But, it's all about the next game. So we're playing the Chiefs this week, and then, hopefully, obviously, looking for a win, and then move on to the next one after that. And you try and improve each week. And so this week we're trying to just do our job.
All right, but it's a big game. It really is. And I'll tell the 2 of you what I think is going on. I really believe that loss in Kansas City in January in the playoff game has gnawed at the Browns. I think they really believe they left one out on the table. Consider this. They're down 5 points, like you said. They're right in it. Yeah. Carl Joseph intercepts that ball in the end zone. They get the ball 1st and 10 at their own 26 minutes to go. Patrick Mahomes is out of the game and is not coming back.
Yeah.
And the offense didn't get a first down. And they didn't get the ball back. And they left one out on the table, and it has driven them crazy in the offseason to get back. So they get a chance to rectify everything that went wrong late in that game in January at Arrowhead Stadium, and they get a chance to do it and rectify it and make it right on Sunday. It's a great opportunity for them. But they do believe they'll play the Chiefs again.
Good. All the evidence supports the Browns improved in the offseason.
Yeah.
I know you've been neck deep in research of these Kansas City Chiefs. What is the general perception on what the Chiefs have done? Is it safe to consider that they also improved or no?
Well, they had a big problem, okay, and it was exposed through injury in the AFC Championship game and in that Browns playoff game, but definitely in the Super Bowl. Their offensive line got old and got hurt.
Yeah.
They have completely rebuilt their entire offensive line.
Wow.
Now, that's a Herculean challenge. If I'm Patrick Mahomes, that keeps me up a little bit at night. The offensive line is critical. That's what really turned the tide for Baker Mayfield, a great offensive line in front of them. From left to right, Jay, it's a complete new offensive line. Only 2 returning with NFL experience on that line. Joe Thuney over from the Patriots, Orlando Brown Jr. traded from Baltimore over there. So I don't know if they've improved. They had to fix their offensive line. That's a big fix for an offense that really likes to go up and down the field. You have a leaky offensive line, you're punting a lot.
So maybe it's a break we caught them to start the season, because typically that unit takes some time to gel.
Yeah, I think so. I think the 2 factors going into the game Sunday, keep your eye on that offensive line for the Chiefs. Is it going to be okay? Will Mahomes get protected? Number 2 is this Browns defense, okay? Yeah. We haven't really seen it during the preseason with the guys who are going to play it. The young kids look great, but they're not going to play on Sunday, except for a couple of them. But we haven't seen Clowney. We haven't seen Garrett. Clowney, incidentally, missed practice today. He was under the weather, not COVID related. Okay. He's going to be okay. Good. How is that defense going to be?
Yeah.
Those are the 2 storylines.
Well, there you go, from the horse's mouth.
There you go.
Chiefs offensive line, Browns defense.
And a good-looking horse, I might say.
I mean, wow.
And I know you would agree.
A stallion, if I may. Definitely.
Jimmy, thanks.
You got it.
Let's bring back a win, man. Let's get it started the right way. Still ahead on What's New, another postponed concert because of COVID. We're going to tell you who was set to perform tonight at Blossom and when the show is being rescheduled.
And Dare to Dream. A local man is riding in this year's Velisano Bike to Cure this weekend. It's not letting his cancer diagnosis get in the way of him still being successful in life. Lindsey Buckingham shares his great story. But first, we need some weather in a Giphy.
Yes, we do. This one is not for Northeast Ohioans. This is for any Floridians that are going to visit us the next 3 days. You know how they handle weather much better than we do. This is what they'll be doing before they head to Edgewater Beach to soak in the sun rays, because we're going to feel kind of fall-like around here. We've got your forecast for you coming up. And I finished that song. I may sing it just real quick.
Go ahead.
I got to get that. Well, not now, but after the break.
Oh, after the break.
You got to keep people through the commercials.
Second verse, same as the first.
What's clicking in Cleveland today is another postponed concert. Okay.
All right, I'm going to save time, get it right to you, Matt. I want to hear the song.
Yep. All right. So this is from the segment earlier about how to properly brush our teeth. Ready? We floss them, we wash them, we brush our teeth, we scrub the top and get underneath. Don't forget the sides to make them shiny and white. If you floss, wash, and brush, then you're doing it right.
Boom.
Does that work?
That was in like what, 20 seconds?
Something like that.
That was amazing.
That's enough for parents to remember to tell their kids how to do it.
American Dental Association on line 1 for you, Mr. Wentz.
Yeah, right. See how high you can get that sponsorship.
Remember me. Remember
Anyway.
me in your future.
Stop. I'll be on Nickelodeon before you know it. We've got weather for you, too. Look, we do that as well.
Look, kids.
Look, kids. There's a bunch of moons. Here's what we got going on tonight. Cooler tonight. We had that front go by. We were tracking, remember, those gusty storms out of Michigan that really did fall apart yesterday. Well, that brought in the frontal boundary. We've got the cooler air here as of this evening, and that will settle in tonight. You'll notice temperatures will be back into the 50s tonight, 60s near the lakeshore. Still hanging on to some showers, very far southeastern half of the viewing area. We've cleared out in Carrollton after some heavier rain just south of town, still holding on to some downpours in very southeastern portion of Tuscarawas County now, dealing with some heavy rain. Not a lot of lightning with that. Not a big deal. That's going to head on off towards the east. We have a nice northwest flow that will bring in the scattered lake effect showers that we've been dealing with in the northern lakes. As this low gets closer, provides a little bit of lift, a little bit of moisture, also providing cooler air. Tomorrow is going to be cooler than today by about 10 degrees or so. You'll notice it. National Design Mart hour by our forecast back into the 50s inland tonight. We should clear those skies out. Then that cloud deck will kind of settle tomorrow morning. I think we start mainly sunny. We'll bubble up some of those fall weather clouds that we're accustomed to here in northeast Ohio. Likely some showers out of those, hit or miss, and then you'll get the sun back out. Temperatures tomorrow near 70. How about that for a high? We're in the low 50s, even upper 40s on the big board by Friday morning around here, especially those outlying locations. Tropics are active. We've got a new tropical storm down in the Gulf. This is Larry, a monster, but just a ship storm out there. No one really needs to worry about that. But this is our brand new tropical storm. This is Mindy. This is going to be one of those. It's 12 hours. It got named. It'll hit land. Not really a big deal. But the flooding is going to be a problem because we don't need rain across the Big Bend of Florida. You can see the track taking it through the Florida Panhandle, just north of Jacksonville there. Going to be a problem for those visiting Savannah or Charleston, South Carolina, and then out to sea as a very weak system. But overall, inactive 24 hours for those down in the Sunshine State. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast, 70s for us the next 2 days. Look at the weekend we have setting up. Sunshine, temperatures near 80. That humidity will build back on into your Sunday. And then next week looks kind of stormy at this point. There's going to be a frontal boundary that settles right over the Great Lakes. So that'll likely lead to some scattered storms. We could see dry days with this, but we'll also have to watch for those storm chances. They'll be nearby on into next week. Jay, floss, brush. I already forgot.
Getting props on the 3 News Facebook page.
Yeah, people are going to love that.
3 What's New page. Ruby Pelk already loving it.
That's why I do that for you.
Floss, wash, brush.
Which is totally not what we learned.
Floss, wash. I know. Things are changing. Well, right now it's time to see what's clicking in Cleveland. And for that, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Aney. Stephanie, a very good Wednesday to you.
Good Wednesday to you, Jay. You know, I love all this toothbrushing conversation just rolling throughout the week. All right, we're going to get this one out of the way because we've got another day and another postponed concert to tell you about. The Doobie Brothers will not perform as scheduled on Thursday at Blossom Music Center. That's because one of their crew members has gotten COVID. They say hang on to your tickets, though, and they will be good for the new date whenever that is. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame had planned to host a Doobie Brothers fan day on Friday, but no word yet on if that's postponed along with the concert. Now, with a few weeks until NBA training camp starts, the Cavaliers may have their eyes on a trade. Longtime NBA reporter Mark Stein is reporting that the Cavs are interested in Ben Simmons, now with the Philadelphia 76ers. Stein seems to think that the Cavs bringing on Lauri Markkanen from the Chicago Bulls could help that happen, but Markkanen can't be traded until December 15th, so if that is the case, it will be a while until that happens. Former Cavaliers guard Iman Shumpert is on our radar again, along with WWE star and Parma native Mike "The Miz" Mizanin, because they've just revealed they will be on the 30th season of Dancing with the Stars. Here's them today on Good Morning America talking about how they hope things will go.
I'm going to lean on my ability to take direction from being in basketball, but hopefully my partner can just make sure that, when the lights are on, we look good.
You'll bring it. You'll bring it.
The Miz is aggressive. He's dialed up to 100. But honestly, I hope for people to see Mike, just a dad, a husband, and out here to really have a good time and just harness everything I possibly can.
Now, The Miz says that the dances we're all used to seeing will be quite different for him than his usual moves, like the skull-crushing finale or the figure 4 leg lock. It will definitely be interesting, Jay and Betsy, to see a little paso doble, the little Argentine tango, all of that from him. It's also good to hear him, though, say The Miz is a pretty villainous character. So.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't channel that part of his character.
They can, get kind of savage in some of those dances, though. They can choreograph into that for sure. I gotta say, Mon Shumpert, the moves that he's got on the basketball court can come in handy, but it's all the little quick steps that they get tripped up. They're so tall and lanky, sometimes it messes up.
It can be hard.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of real estate to work with there.
Yeah, no question about that. All right, Steph, thanks.
Thank you.
Coming up, a change of path. We're going to tell you the plans for this John Carroll student after battling and beating cancer.
And we know talent goes a long way. Now, this little boy is going above and beyond in his neighborhood with a goal to make sure people are happy. You're going to love this. It's coming up.
Welcome back to What's New. Only 3 days are left now until Cleveland Clinic's Velasano bike ride to raise money for cancer research.
And riding this year, a young man whose dreams of serving in the Navy were cut short by cancer. Lindsey Buckingham has his inspiring story.
Biking is about getting to where you want to go. But as 22-year-old John Paul Chaloup knows, sometimes the path to your dreams
It was always this type of pain like I hadn't felt before.
takes you down a different road.
On a nightly basis, I would get an ice bag to calm the swelling.
Fresh off graduation from St. Ignatius High School in 2017, John Paul left home.
A lot of my interest in service was sparked specifically by the Naval Academy in Annapolis.
He'd begin his life of service at the Naval Academy Prep School in Rhode Island, a dream coming true, until a nagging high school basketball injury caught up with him just a few weeks into basic training.
Once you get there, there's just a ton of running and training that you got to do, and almost immediately, I felt it start to flare up again.
For months, he'd pushed through. Nothing would stop his dreams, except for this.
got an x-ray, and you know what ultimately ended up being the tumor was found on the x-ray.
18 years old, diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma. He got the news alone in his room.
Got the call, was excited for some good news and did not get what I was hoping for.
John Paul came back to Cleveland, his parents terrified, but him?
No, didn't. I couldn't let myself think like that.
Even when reality presented itself.
It's a very serious diagnosis, life-threatening.
Or when he was in danger of losing the leg that got him through basic training.
He was about as close as you can get.
He never gave up. Neither did his orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Lucas Nystrom of the Cleveland Clinic.
So we basically had something that looked almost identical to this that was a donor from somebody who had passed away, and then cut an identical matching piece to what the defect we just created in John Paul's bone.
Surgery saved his leg.
I talked to Dr. Nystrom. We developed a good plan because my intention was to want to go back to the Naval Academy.
It wasn't to be.
Ultimately, wasn't able to be granted a waiver to kind of bypass the Navy's 5-year cancer-free requirement.
A different road, but a grateful one, that led him to John Carroll University.
I'm going to graduate in December, double majored in economics and finance.
With those Navy dreams still on the horizon.
Enter the Navy and commission as an officer through Officer Candidate School, which is up in Newport, Rhode Island. That's an option for me to apply to that.
Now, he's on the bike, raising money for cancer warriors at Velasano.
There's some parallels in why I originally wanted to serve in the military, because I wanted to protect those who couldn't protect themselves.
He's not sure where he's going, but he knows he'll get there.
I just want to be satisfied and feeling like I'm on the right path, and I feel like I am on that path, doing something that I enjoy, and I have options, which is something that I didn't have for a while, and that's something I'm grateful for.
Lindsay Buckingham, 3 News.
Lindsay, thanks for that story. What an incredible young man. Great news, too. John Paul's health is fantastic. And here's something else. The very surgeon who saved John Paul's leg was his riding buddy in the 2019 Velasano ride. The two remain close to this day. We have all the details on how you can donate on WKYC.com. What a story.
It's an incredible story. And, you know, I mean, it kind of runs as a sub-story in all of this. But, you know, shout out to the organ donors and the people who donate, you know, their bodies to science, and they donate their bodies to other people. Because without that person, he wouldn't be in the position that he's in today. So there's like a second hero in all of this that I think, you know, you could overlook that very easily, but we shouldn't do that.
Yeah, so often you hear organ donors, but in this case, the leg allowed him to keep his real leg and do all the things that he's done all of his life.
And hopefully he still gets to have a piece of his Navy career. I mean, there's so many positives that just keep coming out of that story. It's awesome.
Continued good luck to you.
Definitely. Well, coming up for us, everybody, we are spreading smiles with this little guy who is really showing that a little gesture can go a long way. We'll explain next in our Show Us Something Good.
And coming up at 6 on What Matters Most, 20 years later, all week we're remembering September 11th, 2001. We're honoring the lives lost. Ahead, how one Westlake family is honoring their loved one's memory and keeping it alive.
All right, well, today is Rosh Hashanah, which ends at sundown tonight. It is recognized as the Jewish New Year. Our pop question is, what does Rosh Hashanah translate to? Is it a new year begins, a new beginning, or head of the year? The answer when we return.
Hello there, how are you?
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yes, sir. How you doing? 1, 2, 3, 4. Before the break, we asked, what does Rosh Hashanah translate to? It's head of the year, because I told
All right, so what does Rosh Hashanah mean? It means head of the year. And Happy New Year to all those celebrating. There you go. Well, today's show is Something Good comes from Jackson Township near North Canton, where this little boy is turning frowns upside down in one neighborhood and beyond. 6.5-year-old Brock Calloway drew a ton of pictures and passed them out on Labor Day. He set up an art stand outside his house and he handed these pictures out to anybody who stopped by or wanted one. But why?
I thought it would be really nice and kind, so people will be happy to get drawings and look at them and be joyful. It was free, but some people knew it. I worked really hard, so I got $8 from that. I'm gonna spend the money for my school to people that can't allow school supplies. So I'm gonna use it to get school supplies for them. Yeah.
Right? He's amazing. Well, Brock says he plans to do this again soon in the coming weeks. Heads up, Jackson Township friends. He even has some Halloween drawings ready to go. We asked him what he wants to be when he grows up, and he said, an artist. So be on the lookout for that. Priceless.
Of course. Love the sign. Free drawings.
Yeah.
And free smiles. Thanks for watching What's New. We're back tomorrow at 5. We hope to see you then.
What Matters Most with Russ starts right now.
Now at 6, the final return home.
That says a lot about where he's at now and what he did for our country, so I know he wouldn't have wanted to go out any other way.
A solemn goodbye to a military hero, Navy Corpsman Max Soviak, killed in the line of duty in Afghanistan. Also, a tragedy in Avon Lake.
It's so different just because it's a whole family, and it just adds to it.
A community is in mourning after the suspected murder-suicide of an entire family. We'll have the latest from police. New strain explained. It's not Delta, but other COVID variants doctors have their eyes on that could be a game changer in the pandemic. And Browns countdown. Weeks of practice and months of waiting have come down to this. The voice of the Browns, Jimmy Donovan, breaks down what the team needs to do to win the season opener on Sunday.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Good evening. I'm Russ Mitchell. Laura has the night off. Tonight, remembering a hero.
Navy Corpsman Maxton Soviak came home to his family today, weeks after he was killed helping evacuate Americans in Afghanistan. Lydia Esparro was at the procession in his honor.
The plane landed early at Cleveland Hopkins. From there, it was a slow procession passing through the communities where 22-year-old Max Soviak once lived.